Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound County Talk Live.
But the unthinkable happened. Police opened fire on unarmed demonstrators, killing over 20, injuring many, and leaving others unaccounted for. Frank was among the victims. Hit by 6 bullets, yet by God's grace, he survived. After a series of life-saving surgeries, Frank can now walk again. But the bullets left a lasting impact. He can no longer perform heavy-duty jobs to support his grandmother. In their iron sheet home, deep in the slum, is inaccessible by vehicles. In case of a medical emergency, help is far out of reach. To make matters worse, the slum is plagued by insecurity, with daily cases of muggings and robberies. Despite all these challenges, Frank dreams of finishing his education, learning a trade, and building a better life for his grandmother, the woman who has stood by him through every storm. This is where we need your help. In the short term, we aim to move Frank and his grandmother to a safer home where they can access medical care and live without constant fear. Long term, we want to support Frank in completing his education, learning a profitable skill, and starting a small business. I've faced so much, but I'm still standing. I want to work hard, take care of my grandmother, and make her proud. I just need a chance. You can be the change in Frank's life. Every contribution, big or small, will go a long way in helping this brave young man and his grandmother rebuild their lives. Let's come together and help Frank fulfill his God-given destiny. God bless you. Send your donations to Sound Candid Talk, support Frank Okoth account. The link is in the description below. Together, we can make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video widely, and stay tuned for more inspiring stories on Sound Candid Talk.
Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound County Talk Live.
A good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk, open forum political discussion show. The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, Kenya is at it again, and accusation by Sudan for their support for the rebel group that Rigathi Gachagua was talking about, the former vice president of Sudan, launching his cabinet from Nairobi. And now those accusations have not gone anywhere. And that means the complaints are up there. And then, of course, that places William Ruto's administration in a bad light and our country at risk. And we are left asking questions. Why would William Ruto be risking this much? I mean, to what end and to whose profit? You know, the Bible talks about don't let your well-doing be evil spoken of. I think we are biting more than we can chew. And of all administrations that we've had in the past, I think the William Ruto is one that is problematic when it comes to diplomatic relations and international relations. And I don't understand why. Salim Davadi, the foreign affairs minister, is a seasoned politician, long-serving government official, and served in Moi government, served in Kibaki government, and you know, he's been in politics all along. He was Minister for Finance. I don't think there's nothing on governance that Musalia Mudavadi doesn't understand. So does it mean that the interference by William Ruto and, of course, other people interested in the Sudan conflict based in Nairobi or working from Nairobi, is it that he doesn't listen to counsel from Musalia Mudavadi, or what's going on? I want to hear what you feel and think about the same, even as we start this conversation, and call upon you to be an extension of what you're doing right here, right where you are. Share the link and get more people to join so that we can have a smooth discussion. Apologies, my voice is not ordinary. I'm from church, and we had a great time in church, and so the sound system was not as good, so my voice got affected, but I think we can pull through with this. Asante sana, Esther Stol na kuona. Karibu, naomba tafadhali ukitupata tu karibisha mtu ili tumakinike pamoja tunapoanza mchakato huu. Haya kijiri contra the fueling of Sudan conflict, and the Sudan government is accusing Kenya for the same. Demolitions are back again, and one of the things Gashaga was talking about, their fallout with the William Ruto, was on demolitions and inhumane way of displacing people. And it appears that has not gone. Athi River again, we had demolitions, and this time they were illegal or undercover. The story goes that people were invaded in the deep of the night at 2 a.m. and their houses were demolished while they are inside. And this, you know, some of these things you hear, they look like a movie, they look like, you know, they are fiction, but it's not. And so we'll be looking at that story. What is this demon of demolitions of houses while occupants are in those houses, and even if they are in grabbed land or illegally acquired land? I think there is a better way to go about it. So why should we expose children, women, and you know, elderly people on unnecessary, you know, trauma, all of it in the pretext of protecting the so-called private developers or those interested in the land? When will we as a country act in the interest of the country and in the interest of the common mwananchi? It appears that when the big man is interested in something, or the so-called elite, everything else is forgotten. That even the humane way of going about it is thrown through the window. And then our police, why do you accept to be accomplices of ills that are, you know, geared towards messing up the livelihood of the majority of the masses in this country? I think this is not acceptable. So I also want to invite your input as we start to look at this. We thought demolitions have been buried and have been forgotten, but they are back again, and it doesn't look good. While that is going on, the Kenya Kwanza politicians, especially those in the wing of William Ruto, are back again in Mount Kenya, drumming up support for William Ruto and defending his administration, especially against the accusations by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and former Attorney General, as well as Minister for Public Service, Justin Muturi. And so there is a lot of explaining taking place, but I fear that the messenger sent to explain, I don't think they will do much. I don't see much coming from the same, but I would want to know what you think about the same. I really want to, I love the way our politics, come up and people become so much, red that they believe they can convince Kenyans over what is not until they swallow it and, believe it. So Sudi is one of those people who are defending the Ruto administration, but this time it's not Rift Valley, but in Mount Kenya. What is your take? Are they going to get the mountain back, or the mountain is gone and gone forever? I need that, your opinion. I will hope, Mr. Guru, if you are following, you can come and confirm. Will Sudi and, of course, the bags of cash being carried around, will it be able to melt the hearts of the people of the mountain and warm it up again towards William Ruto? And it appears William Ruto is very desperate, and from all the indicators, he seemed not to have any other place to lean on in terms of seeking his re-election except the ODM support. But that ODM support looks slippery, unpredictable, and unreliable. So what does William Ruto have that can save him? Is this the now newly established trips to the mountain, or what will save him? I would also love to hear what you think about the whole scenario. Well, as this continues, I want to appreciate all that are joining. Please like the video and, of course, be the ambassador of what you're doing. Apologies, we started late again. The Tongas, whatever, complained it. But we'll be adjusting as time goes. Days become very rough, and so we have to gather strength before we are able to run the show. Well, the last story is about politicians now complaining that why are churches banning them from speaking on the pulpit after service? Now, I find that to be very fascinating, and I also leave for you to judge. But I have a small question for those politicians, especially members of parliament. My small question is this. If I walked into the parliament, will I be allowed to speak? No, I'm a pastor. I walk in the chambers. Wetangula is there, and his whatever, aides. And I walk in parliament during session. Will I be allowed to address the parliament? As soon as you answer me that, then you tell me why we should allow you to address the church. As who? Tusikosane mapema. Karibisha mtu ili tumakinike pamoja tunapoanza. Tuanze na hiyo story ya Sudan, wanaoteta kwamba Kenya inawaingilia na masuala yao. Wewe unaonaje mambo haya? Toa maoni yako, wai mapema, tumalize mapema. Asante.
As the conflict in Sudan enters its second year, the Kenyan government's association with the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, has once again come to the fore.
Amnesty International shining a spotlight on the sexual violence women and children, get this, as young as 1, have suffered at the hands of RSF.
Now, the International Human Rights Organization is calling an arms embargo on Sudan and has called out President William Ruto's administration for not speaking out against the use of rape by RSF as a weapon of war. Olive Burrows, there's more.
An Amnesty International report released on Thursday documents the use of rape as a weapon of war by the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group that has for the last 2 years been engaged in a civil war against the Sudan armed forces. The report documents the experiences of 16 women, majority of whom are refugees in Uganda who lived through hell at the hands of RSF fighters.
We have documented in the past that both SAF and RSF have been committing acts of human rights violations on civilians. But with this particular one, we're looking at almost everyone that was interviewed spoke about the RSF armed men raping women, gang raping women.
Last month, UNICEF reported to the UN Security Council that in 2024, 221 cases of rape against children were documented in 9 states of Sudan, 147 survivors being girls and 33% boys. Disturbingly, 16 of the children were under the age of 5, including 4 one-year-olds. One of the cases documented in the Amnesty International report, titled "They Raped All of Us," is that of Batul, not her real name, a mother of 6.
I was at home with my 6 children, including my sick daughter who has a heart disease. The RSF said they were arresting me because they knew I was a nurse and they wanted me to treat their injured soldiers. They blindfolded me and put me in a car and drove me to Al Amal Hospital in Khartoum North. They asked me to treat one of them who was critically injured. I told them that I was unable to do so because I was not a medical doctor. The injured man died the following day. On that second day, 8 RSF soldiers came to the room where I was detained. They beat me badly and then raped me one after the other. My unhealed C-section wound opened because I am diabetic and had given birth 9 months earlier.
Amnesty International is calling for protection of the civilian population through enforcement of an arms embargo, not only in Darfur, where it currently applies, but across the war-torn nation. Access to sexual and reproductive health services for survivors of rape is also a challenge. But not just in Sudan, but even for those who've sought refuge in neighboring countries, given the drastic cuts to humanitarian assistance after US aid was impaired. Amnesty International is calling on Kenya to take a stand against war crimes.
Its relationship with RSF includes spotlighting and putting at the center the human rights fundamentals in Sudan, including stepping up to be critical of the fact that a partner can commit mass rape, gang raping of women, subject women to sexual violence and sexual slavery. A partner like that needs to be called out.
Okay, there you go. The friends of William Ruto are committing heinous crimes against humanity in Sudan. Those are accusations leveled against our beloved country called Kenya. What's going on with our land? I mean, we are a beacon of hope. We are a beacon of peace. We are big brother in this region. What's happening with our country? Have we forgotten our stance anymore, our standards, our honor and respect in the eyes of other nations? It doesn't matter anymore how we are spoken of or viewed as a people. I think it's about time we called for that inevitable national dialogue. The things that are happening in this country under the William Ruto administration require us to gather at Uhuru Park and have a serious engagement. The elders, the youth, the women, and the children, all of us together, we need to have a serious talk. Because this cannot be going on and we look the other side especially if we are doing it on the pretext that it's making money. Money is important, but money is not everything. And if we put everybody and their interactions in our life based on how much money comes in or how much money we make, I think we are missing it by far. And so what's the way forward? Because these are crimes against humanity, and they are unheard of. I mean, what is this? Who goes and rapes a 1-year-old under 5 years? I mean, what are you looking for? And so this that is going on, and then they're telling us that we are democratic and we support democracy and we are free to entertain the leaders of the same gang that is gang raping women and children. No, I don't agree with Gachagua. I don't support Gachagua's politics, but I think it's right. There are lines that when they are crossed, you take steps behind and say no. You take steps backward and say, no, I can't support this. And so what's wrong with us? What's wrong with the Ruto leadership that is entertaining this manner of people? And to the international community, we are quick in raising sanctions and banning people from traveling to America and other places in the pretext that they are corrupt and things like that. Where's your voice in this going on in Sudan? The African Union, where are you in this matter? Because this cannot be going on until we are all folding hands and say, oh, Sudan is a sovereign state, or let it take care of its own problems. These problems are spilling over on each and every one of us. And so if we don't step in and say, it is said that a stitch in time saves 9. If we don't step in and save the situation, we are aggravating that situation and it will get out of hand. It will affect everybody. And these people being traumatized by all this endless civil war and all these heinous crimes being committed and victims of the same are part and parcel of the problems we are sending into the future. And we will have to confront them in one way or another. And so I want to appeal to everyone to be concerned. We have that aspect of feeling that is Sudan and we are in Kenya. There is no, nowadays you say the world has become a global village. So it will affect us in one way or another. So let us get concerned, and especially on the issue of Kenya being accused for fueling the conflict in Sudan and entertaining the RFS, is it rapid response, wherever, that gang group. They were here. We gave them press. We gave them audience. We gave them facility. They did their conference. They were arranging their parallel government here. I mean, we must do something. Let's not play games. I invite your input, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to assess these manenos. Maoni yako tafadhali tunayakaribisha. Asante kwa wote ambao mnajiunga nasi pembe yote ya dunia. Hii inaitwa Sound Candy Talk. Tunachambua siasa zetu, hasa siasa za Kenya. Na hapa Kenya inatuhumiwa kwamba inachangia vikubwa katika mzozo wa Sudan. Na tumesikia Gachagua mwenyewe ambaye aliyekuwa naibu wa rais wa nchi hii akisema mojawapo ya matatizo yake na William Ruto yalitokana na huyu kiongozi wa Rebel Group aliyekuwa vice president wa Sudan. Ruto alitaka aalikwe, Gachagua akakataa kumwalika. Hapo ndio wakaanza kukosana, na bila kuegemea sana madai ya Gachagua, hivi ndio tutakuwa kama watu, hivi ndio tutakuwa kama nchi, eti tunaegemea hela, tukasahau adabu, tukasahau heshima, tukasahau kujiheshimu? Hivi sivyo. Naomba ukachangie kwa njia moja au nyingine. Comment section hapo, weka maoni yako. Link ya kutumia kuingia studio pia nimshaweka pale kwa comments. Tafadhali makinika kwa kuwahi na tukazungumze masuala haya. Nashukuru tu wote ambao mnajiunga nasi. I can see the number of viewers rising. Please, let's be active. Let's make the show great by ensuring that we participate fully. I can see M&A, evening to you. Caro, thank you so much. You say we have an animal for a president here. He must go. I agree. I think we need to be more aggressive and, absolute about these things, because we are playing gray, and this gray is not helping. So let's have a sound stand on these matters and seek a lasting solution to the same. Is Kenya justified to be part of the conflict in Sudan? No. Should Kenya be involved in the conflict in Sudan except on the premise of trying to seek reconciliation? Yes. But if it is the one funding or helping the Sudan people get the money to buy arms and go and continue with the war, we are part of the problem, and we should not be seen anywhere, especially on the table that is seeking for the lasting solution to the matter. And then, of course, the Sudan administration itself. I think they say he who fights and runs lives to fight another day. Carrying on a conflict for 2 years is too long. Let's find a lasting solution to these issues. We are all brothers. We are all one. Let's all calm down and just talk one to another. Find a lasting solution. The African setting, I believe in the African heritage. African setting, we had systems of governance even before the so-called civilization came and all this elite West Africa, Western world approach towards leadership. We had our own groupings that were used to sort out conflicts. I think we need to revert to that particular system, especially in this crisis. Why can't the elders be allowed to, facilitate this kind of, arresting the conflicts before they get out of hand? And now that it's already out of hand, can somebody step up and say, no, there's no need of us continuing to fight. We are brothers. Let us find an amicable understanding of this matter. And so this is very, very important. And of course, it serves as a great lesson. I would want to point that out. Especially to us who are agitating for better governance in this country. And some of us don't care how that better governance comes. We just want it to come anyhow. But I think it's also important that as we pursue and agitate for that better governance, we need to be able to handle it responsibly. If change is not well managed, it can be disastrous. And that's what we are talking about. Sudan had a revolution, had a sudden change. And that sudden change is what has resulted in what we are having right now. What was to be a smooth transition and a short period of time is now becoming a conflict and is degenerating into a full-fledged war. And all of it is because people refused to sit down and talk. They refused to deal with the situation before it got out of hand. And that is why I encourage us as Kenyans and as a people, let us not allow things to fall completely. Let's save them. It is time to invest in salvaging what is left, and then, of course, sorting out conflicts with minimal damage. What's going on in Sudan and, of course, Congo? We saw something in, was it in Morocco, wherever? Those things are smelling bad. We are civil people. Let us look out one for another. Let us protect one another. And let us, of course, safeguard one another. This use of sword against one another, gun against one another, we will fight until we finish ourselves. To what end? To whose gain? Why? So let's grow up. Let's grow up. That may sound as an insult, but it's important. It's important. We don't need to always fight, and we don't need always to sort out our conflicts by fighting. I'm a Bible teacher, and one of the interesting stories in the Bible is that of Abraham and Lot. Okay, Abraham and Lot. Abraham is an old man. Is called by God to go to the promised land, and as on his way to the promised land, he carries his nephew, who was Lot. And the Bible says they got blessed, and the number of their livestock multiplied greatly, and they began to have scarcity of pasture to feed all their animals. And then what happened? The Bible says that there was strife, okay, between the servants of Lot and the servants of Abraham, and the conflict began, to get out of hand. And Abraham, being the elder, he expected the young man to see sense and act by, seeking better distance where they can get pasture. But it's like Lot was just enjoying the conflict, enjoying the fights, constant strife. So Abraham, the big one, okay, stood up and said, I'm taking the responsibility. Says, now there is no need for us to fight because we are brothers. I want you to note that out. There is no need for us to fight because we are brothers. He says, take the east, I will take the west. Take the north, I'll take the south. But we must know. This is very important. There is no need of us fighting. Take the east, I'll take the west. Take the north, I'll take the south. We need to have a way of sorting out our differences without fighting. Innocent lives are being lost for nothing. Putting the lives of children and women at risk for nothing. What you're fighting for, we don't see. Whether they are resources or wherever those mines and those minerals you're fighting for, none of it is going with you anywhere. None of it is going with you anywhere. There's no need of taking anybody's life because of gold, silver, and all manner of precious stones. Let's wake up and do the right thing. It always pays to do the right thing. And so Sudan, Congo, and everywhere there's a conflict, listen and hear good. There is no need to fight. What is yours is yours. What is not yours, you can fight until you die and you won't find it. So let's be brothers. Let us find an amicable, lasting solution to the same. But for Ruto and team, please keep off the affairs of other countries. Keep off the affairs of other countries. If you can't help them, leave them, let them go find help elsewhere. Don't get yourself into the mix of what you are not supposed to. Well, I want to salute everybody as you join from wherever you are. Thank you so much for making the show a success. Please keep sharing the video and please like the video. Let me see the likes. The likes on TikTok. Keep that screen, covered in those likes, please. And then, of course, on YouTube as well as Facebook. I want us to, look at that story on demolitions. And then, of course, we now go to the Kenya Kwanza and then the congregants and the politicians. Mambo ndio hayo. Basi nashukuru. Naomba tafadhali makinika. Na kama unakuja studio, link nishaweka kwa comment section. tumia hiyo link, kuja studio tukazungumze. Mimi niko hapa kwa sababu nataka kufacilitate kuzungumza, sio lazima mimi nizungumze hapa. Naomba tu tukaelewanwe and of course tukashirikiane katika mambo haya. Wacha tuangalie story ya Athi River na watu kubomolewa nyumba kwa njia ambayo haifai kabisa. Okay, let's hear the story and then we'll talk about it.
Tens of families have been left homeless after their homes at Ngelani Athi River in Machakos County were demolished. The residents claim the homes were destroyed by goons under the supervision of the police.
On Saturday morning, Ngelani residents in Athi River woke up to a shocking incident that left 20 families homeless. This after tens of hired youth stormed Ngelani homes with crude weapons, destroying every structure of the 5-acre piece of land. Among victims of the demolition is Wangoi Waweru. She is yet to come to terms with the massive loss. She witnessed as Rodi youth reduced her multi-million shillings property into ruins.
What has happened today is extremely sad and very unfortunate. We were ambushed at 2 in the morning, no notice, nothing. No one said anything. We tried to ask the police officers who are here what reason they had. And for the people who were asking what was happening, they were being arrested. Yeah. Now we have children. We don't know where to take our children. We have young children, 7 months, 8 months. Where do we sleep tonight?
Tulibamiwa na watu wasiojulikana. Kulikuwa na gari za polisi zilikuwa zimefichwa namba. But tuliweza kujua gari moja tuliona tu ilikuwa imetoka Syokimau police station. Na kulikuwa na wizi mingi juu walikuwa wanapigia nyumba zilikuwa zinagongwa kama watu wako ndani.
As they try to salvage whatever they can from the ruins, oblivious of what the future holds, the residents blamed police for aiding and abetting the demolitions.
Hakuna mahali pengine nimeona gari ya polisi inafanya kazi na imeficha identity. Hii nimeona na jana usiku. Huwezi jua hii gari ni ya polisi ya ukweli ama ni makaratasi walikuwa wamebandika. Hatuwezi jua hawa walikuwa maafisa wa ukweli ama walikuwa, lakini walikuwa wamejihami.
The matter has since been reported at Athi River Police Station as affected families continue to call on the government to intervene. Crispino, TNO Citizen TV.
Haya, mambo ni kama hayo. Wanasema ukistaajabu ya Musa utaona ya Firauni. Bado naendelea kuuliza hilo swali tu. Tunaelekea wapi kama nchi? Eti genge la watu wasiojulikana wanakwenda kuvamia Wakenya, alafu badala polisi iwatetee na kulinda Wakenya, polisi inatetea wale wanaohujumu haki za Wakenya. Ni nini hiki kinachoendelea? Hii si ndio system ya machambasi ama ni nini? What's going on in our country? Do we have a functioning government? Do we have a functioning interior ministry that protected by police vehicles and police officers? People invade in the dark night at 2 a.m. to begin to demolish houses that the inhabitants are inside. I mean, what's going on? So, ni kipi hiki kinachoendelea? Naomba mnisaidie. Ni God made man, man made money, money made man mad. Is this not madness? Help me, please. Is this not madness? I mean, even if you want the money, or you love the money, or you want to grab the land, demolishing a house that has occupants inside while they are asleep, no notice, no get out, we want to demolish. Are we not going back to the primitive ages? I mean, even the primitive ages, people used sense. They were not killing people just like that or destroying lives like that. So let me please hear your opinion. Thank you so much for participating. I call upon us to be vigilant. Please, let's talk. Let's talk. Don't run away from this. Hii ni uchi wetu, lazima either tufunike, tuoshe, tufanye vile tutaweza, lakini mimi naona hii ni mbaya sana. Okay? Hii ni mbaya sana na haistahili kuwa inatendeka katika karne hii. I mean, kizazi hiki. Kwa nini? Kwa nini? Kama watu wamejenga kwa shamba lisilostahili ama lisilokuwa lao, kuna njia tofauti, na njia mwafaka ni kwenda kotini. Koti ndio inapata peke yake, koti peke yake ndio kikatiba inaruhusiwa kupeana nini, huyo warrant ama court order ya kuevict watu. So hii ya kuja usiku ukitumia genge la vijana, hiyo ni koti gani imepeana? Hiyo ni sheria gani ambayo unashinikiza? Are we all turning into a nation of thugs and thuggery that we mess up livelihood just like that? So this Athi River story is very, very disturbing, very, very heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. And this is not the first one. To make matters worse, this is not the first one, and it's not the last one. So after all this swearing, there will be no demolitions, or there will be no inhumane way of handling things. It's all running our mouth without making any form of serious commitment. And look the way the place is, dead silent. Where are the politicians to raise this matter? Where are the politicians to defend these people being displaced? Even if they don't belong to your political party, even if they don't belong to your political persuasion. They are Kenyans and they have rights. Who will speak for them? Who will rise up to their defense? So it's even very, God have mercy. Okay? So the gang come to attack you in your house, supported by the police, and then you are required to go and report them to the same police station. What is this? So which police station would you go to? And when you go to the police station, what will you say? That there's a gang that has come to attack me in the house and it was protected by the police, and now I've come to report to you, police, that I'm being attacked by police, by a gang supported by police. Where will that case go to? Who is going to assist you in that kind of a matter? Can William Ruto and team do what they are required to do over vacate office? Because this is too much to be late off just like that. And so let me know what you think about this whole scenario. Carol says, I cry for my country. I agree. Talia anasema, hey everyone, hey to you. Thank you so much, Mukambu. He says, I apologize to animals. Oh, I apologize to. Please, let's take it easy. Let's take it easy. Let's not get worked up until we lose our cool. But this is sad. This is very sad. Hata kama mtu amejenga kwa nyumba isiyo kwa shamba lisilo kwa lake, tusifanye hivi tafadhali. Na hii masuala ya watu kuwa na appetite ya kuchukua mashamba ya watu, achaneni nayo. Watu wengi mashuhuri wamekufa. Hakuna mtu alizikwa kwa kaburi la 60 acres. Size ya kaburi ni ile ile. So hii unataka kuchukua kila shamba kila mahali, unalipeleka wapi? Shamba ulilipata hapa, utaliwacha hapa. Why can't we just let people also have their own thing going? And so without going into the Ministry of Lands and how people get their land transferred, let's just settle it. These things don't have to be a matter of life and death. You can let go. Our forefathers did not buy land, they cleared land. And so this matter of you putting lives of people at risk because you want to be so-called private developer. So children are sleeping in the cold tonight. Women are sleeping in the cold tonight because somebody wants to build his own thing on a land they occupied. Something must happen. Talia says the only solution here is Ruto must go. Kenyans, let's march to State House. It is too much. I agree. It is too much. We must do something about it. And I'm becoming afraid that Kenyans are becoming complacent. They're becoming numb and beginning to tolerate these excesses without doing something about it. That's my fear, okay? My fear, there is that inoculation or immunization, where you're exposed to a degree of whatever, a virus or whichever, and then your body develops antibodies that are able to resist the disease. Kenyans are becoming complacent and they are becoming numb about the resistance of the evils in our midst. We are beginning to accommodate one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And before long, we are going to be very much at home with a land where the law means nothing, in a land where the constitution means nothing, in a land where people are able to, are free to slay each other and nothing happens. They are free to steal from each other and nothing happens. They are free to grab what belongs to another person and nothing happens. When we let evil to thrive, we become victims of that same evil. And so we need to get our conscience back. We need to get our conscience back and begin to assess these things for what they are and reject what is evil. Those demolitions ought not to take place like that. And our security system, you must be shameless to still be breathing in and out when such things are taking place. And if there is any department or rather any sector in this country that is overstaffed and over what? I mean, the details about the security of the country is so enormous. Enormous in the sense that we have Nyumba Kumi, we have assistant chief, we have chief. Then we have county sub-county commission. Then we have county commission. Then we have regional commission. Look at that chain of command. These things should be so airtight that this kind of crimes should not be taking place. So how do we have people in a particular setting? These people are resident. They are living with the Nyumba Kumi operators, okay? Then there is demolitions to take place in the dark of the night, and mtu wa Nyumba Kumi hajui, assistant chief hajui, chief hajui, OCS hajui, hapana. So Murkomen, uko wapi? Njoo utuambie hizi demolitions na take place na nani? Kama ni polisi wako ambao wanalinda wale ambao wanabomolea watu nyumba, wapi warrant ya kusema hivyo? Wapi court order ya kusema watu wabomolewe? Na court order gani inakuanga enforced saa 8 ya usiku kama sio wizi ambao unaendelea, wizi wa kimabavu? Which court order is that is enforced at 2 a.m. in the morning while people are asleep? Haya, I leave you those questions, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everyone who is participating in the show. Asante sana. Naomba tafadhali tumakinike katika kutekeleza haya tunapoangazia masuala mengine. We are switching gears as we move from that demolitions. I want us to get back to politics, and thereafter I will discuss there is a mysterious disease in Kakamega has claimed one life. We'll also be looking at the same, and they are pointing to the same devil that is contributing to the deaths of many Kenyans. The devil's name is called Shah. Well, we'll be looking at that shortly. In the meantime, karibisha mtu, like video, and then I didn't even put the poll question, but I'll be putting it up shortly for you to respond to the same. So let's look at this one of the Kenya Kwanza leaders defending the Ruto administration. I don't know how you can defend this Ruto administration when such things are taking place.
And improving farmers' earnings.
Now, Kenya Kwanza leaders today pitched camp in the Mount Kenya region just weeks after President William Ruto's visit to the area. What was initially presented as an empowerment forum for border riders and women's groups under the bottom-up agenda soon took a political turn, with the leaders led by Deputy President Athi River and Kapseret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi defending the Kenya Kwanza administration. Here is Vera Mora with more.
A week after President William Ruto's tour of the Mount Kenya region, Kenya Kwanza members of parliament have returned to Kiambaa in Kiambu County, pumping millions into an event originally presented as an empowerment initiative for border riders and mama mboga groups under the bottom-up agenda. But the gathering quickly took a political turn, with leaders using the platform to defend the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Wakati nyinyi mulikuwa na ule viongozi wenu walikuwa, wakati kuna changamoto, mnatuambia patieni time kiongozi, wacha angangane, mpatie time. Let's give time to leadership. Wakati yetu wako na shida mnasema maastiko. Letike.
Kuna biashara inajengwa na mwaka moja? Kuna biashara inajengwa na mwaka mbili? Wacha niwaambie na munisikize. Kama kuna watu wanafaa kujifunia, ni watu wa hii mlima. Kama kuna watu wanataka wajue hii serikali ni yao, ni nyinyi.
National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah reassured Mount Kenya residents of their stake in the national leadership, highlighting the significant role secured by leaders from the region, underscoring the influence within the Kenya Kwanza government.
Besides you as our deputy president in this government, tuko na mawaziri 7 kutoka Mount Kenya in this government. 15 principal secretaries from this Mount Kenya region. Directors and chairmen of parastatals, hata hatuwezi hesabu, itakuwa ni scandal.
In the midst of growing political and economic pressures, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki struck a more moderate tone, seeking to manage public expectations while reiterating the administration's commitment to economic recovery, noting that the challenges facing the country are not solely the fault of the previous regime.
Watu wengi wanafikiria tunalaumu Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kwa ile hali uchumi tuliikuta 2022. Hapana. Sababu ya uchumi ya Kenya kuharibika kwa ile hali ilikuwa ni kwa sababu ya ugonjwa wa COVID-19 ambao ulifanya uchumi wa Kenya ufungwe kwa zaidi ya miaka miwili.
Earlier, the leaders made stops in Githunguri where they vowed to continue contributing to churches despite concerns over possible money laundering.
Kanisa mchunge sana, sababu hii pesa mnaletewa pesa nyingi, inaweza kuwa ni ile pesa ya wizi na money laundering ambayo tunasikia Kenya imekuwa flagged, maneno ya money laundering.
Najua nimesikia mwingine hapo nje anasema ati sisi ni watu wa money laundering sijui nini. Hiyo ni yake. Ile mtu tunasafu ni Mwenyezi Mungu.
This visit to the Mount Kenya region marks a significant step in bridging the gap between the Kenya Kwanza administration and the Mount Kenya residents as the nation grapples with its realities of political and economic status. Vera Mora, KTN News, Kiambu County.
Anglican Archbishop
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying tuned. That is how it goes. We have the aspect of Kenya Kwanza politicians defending the Ruto administration amid criticism that much is falling apart under their watch. And then, of course, Sudi there coming to the defense of the administration and says it's 1 year or 2 years. And he says a business cannot be built and become profitable within that short period of time. And so every administration should be given time. And he says comparing it to the previous administrations, kila mtu alikuwa na uvumilivu, tukasema watu wapewe muda. Lakini ikifika kwa huyu Ruto wanasema must go. Kwa nini hawataki na yeye pia kumvumilia ili aweke mambo sawa na ashughulikie matatizo ya Wakenya? Maoni yako ndio nasubiri hapa tunapoendelea na mchakato, lakini hiyo ni siasa na wanasiasa wanacheza game yao kama vile wanavyoiona. Kwangu mimi, sababu kubwa ya uongozi ni kutatua matatizo ya wananchi, sio kusababisha matatizo ya wananchi. Na hiyo kutatua matatizo ya wananchi lazima ikuwe na practical approach. Isikuwe tu ile tulikuwa tunasoma shule inaitwa broadcasting, njia moja ya kupanda mbegu. Unalima shamba, ukimaliza unatupa tu mbegu mahala popote, inaitwa broadcasting. I think there must be a systematic way of dealing with this. Glad mama is here. Mami, hali vipi?
Poa Penat. Lata Sunday kwako imeisha, karibu naanza Monday.
Tuko Monday tayari. Sunday imekuwa sawa. Nimekuwa church, ndio sauti yangu imeendea.
Hiyo ni mzuri, umehubiri amani na umehubiria watu kujoin kwa Mungu. Otherwise kwetu ni jioni, ni 6, so bado hata hatujaanza kuanzia kukaribia jioni. Otherwise nasikiza mambo ya Kenya ni mangumu. We don't know who to believe now. Nikianzia mambo ya South Sudan, naona wamekuwa hapo na nina swali. Wakati Raila alitaka kwenda kumitiate, alirutishwa na akaambiwa uende Uganda. And then after 3 days, Museveni was there. Kwa sababu ni rafiki ya Salva Kiir, askari ya Uganda wako huko na ndio wanafanya mambo. So we also, Wakenya pia walituma maaskari, kwa sababu I think wakati wangekuwa na mediation na Raila alikuwa ametumwa, kila siku ukiwa na hiyo lazima usikize both side, usikize upande ya serikali wale wamepigana, alafu ukuwe na jawabu. Nimeona leo Mrs. Karang akisikia uchungu sana, anasema she is so ashamed that hata ajui serikali imesaliwa tu juzi na imeanza kuwa na fracas, na inamkumbusha machozi ya bwana yake. Na nikasikia akisema wamefail kama government, kama everybody, and he was crying out that they give the young people chance to see if they can bring both people of Sudan pamoja. So now with Museveni being regional, amejiweka na nusu ya Sudan, ameingia Congo, sasa ako Sudan, kijana yake ndio wako huko. So as Kenya now, vile nimesikia ukisema walikuja Kenya, yes. So do we blame Kenya?
naomba hivi inaonekana umechanganya mambo mawili. Sudani ziko mbili, zote ziko na shida, lakini ile Sudani tunazungumzia ni ile original Sudan, Northern Sudan. Ile ambayo
ndio iko na shida.
Zote ziko na shida, lakini shida ya Northern Sudan tunaweza ita Northern Sudan, ile ilikuwa ya al-Bashir, ile alikuwa overthrown. Tangu ya kuwa overthrown ndio kukatokea hii sasa factions mbili. Hii wale watu walichukua hiyo serikali, kukawa na huyo army commander na deputy wake, so wakakosana vile Ruto alikosana na Gachagua. So huyu deputy ndio anakuja hapa Nairobi kutengeneza opposition yake, kinyume na yule mwingine ambaye anaongoza maneno ya huko ya hiyo Sudan. So hii ya Salva Kiir na hiyo ni Southern Sudan, hii yao haijafika kwa civil war, ni bado iko manageable. Ndio sasa hiyo Raila ndio alikuwa ameenda kujaribu kusalvage. Deputy president wa hiyo Southern Sudan ndio amewekwa under house arrest, so wanajaribu kuhakikisha kwamba wana reconcile ili mambo ya escalate ikokuwe civil war kama ile iko ya Northern Sudan. So both Sudans ziko na shida, lakini shida yao sio moja. Okay, so hii ya Southern iko na masuala yake, na masuala yake ni kutokubaliana katikati ya deputy president na president, and then at least this is we can say a democratic government, but ile ya ni ya military, na wale watu wa military ndio wamekosana. So tunapoangazia, tungependa wasikilizaji ama watazamaji waelewe hivyo, tusichanganye mambo mbili. So hii ya Museveni, Raila and Salva Kiir and the other man, what is his name, hiyo ni tofauti na hii ambayo tunazungumzia. The Sudan that is accusing Kenya for fueling conflict ni ile Gachagua alikuwa anazungumzia hao watu wa RSF. Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Kwa sababu nilitaka kuelewa hivyo, and hiyo ya North Sudan wakati walipigana kwanza, kuna group ilitaka kujiunda okay, North Sudan, they are brothers of Muslim with majority black Muslim and the Arabu, I don't know how they call them. Na wakati South Sudan ilijitenga, kuna hiyo Nile, sijui wanaitwa nini hiyo, walitaka pia wakuwe na nchi yao, or wangeruhusiwa kuungana na South Sudan, kwa sababu I think they are the same clan ama I don't know, kuna vile inaenda na I'm sure wale walikuja Nairobi, it is that group hiyo wanakaa kama South Sudan, wale watu Africans, Muslim Africans, and they are Muslim like Warabu, I don't know how we call them, that one. So let me not go much there, because hiyo conflict imekuwa na wana serikali walitoa Al-Fashir wakifikiria wataelewana, and now Kenya, so that one let me not go in there. Nimeona mambo ya Sudi, nimeona juzi wakiwa funeral, kasikia Ruto akiongea. Well, Ruto must go, amesema yes. Moi aliambiwa must go, but when Kibaki came, nobody say must go. When Uhuru came, nobody say must go, or they were, I don't know. And the name is Kasongo. So I hear him saying those are names, but he can continue working. My question is, ukiwa na kanisa na wafuasi wase wa kanisa, some of the pastors na wahuduma wanaitwa nini, wahudumi, tunaita nini wale Kiswahili kisuri,
Watumishi.
no, watumishi
Yeah.
na watu wenye wamekuja washiriki, na I get it.
Congregation, yes, congregants.
Yes. Yeah, congregants. So congregants wamekataa pasta, wase wa kanisa nusu pia wamekataa pasta, na pasta ako kwa kanisa. Na every Sunday wanakuwa na shida because they cannot come together. Na wataki kukaa chini kusuluhisha mambo ya kanisa. So pale sadaka inapofika inakuwa shida. So to Kenyans, watu walichua, serikali waliweka was not up to date, na walitulazimisha wakasema yes, we want them. Wakapatiwa. In 1 year now, 2 years on the line, mwenye alikuwa naongea Central Musima kuchapa hiyo serikali ameondoka kwa sababu yenye ameona. Uwezi sema Kachagwa hakukuwa na ukweli yake ama na uongo yake. But for me is, wale wa Kenya waliona kuna shida, na wale wa Kenya walikuwa kwa fence, na hata sasa wako fence penalty. So tumeongea, and like people are not, unajua saile unasema kama kiatu inakufinya ama una sindano kwa mkuu, na unajaribu kuambia wengine unisaidie nitoe hii mimba imeniuma. Hata mtoto yako hawezi jua hiyo mimba, unasikia hiyo usaa, unalia utolewe hiyo usaa, at least mkuu ipone ama utembee. But the other person, ula umwi ajui, anakwambia familia itaruti chini. So I think Kenya is pena tuko mara mbili. Most of them, kuna wale wanaongea kwa sababu wanataka uongozi, na kuna wale wananchi now, the real people. And until the real people, real Kenyans, wale wanasema wamesafa, watoke nje. Because now this is politics. And wameamua kufanya politics na wameshindwa kutoa hiyo serikali. So sometimes wasungu walisema, if you don't pit them, you join them. So they don't join them, they continue pitting them. Nani ana lose ni Mkenya, lakini I think also hakuna kelele kwa Wakenya kama vile ilikuwa unga nini, ilikuwa vitu mingi ni expensive, hata wananchi walikuwa natoka nje. Nafikiria wakati tulipata chakula mashambani peanut and some things ikarudi chini, mwananchi ule wa huko chini ajali hii mambo inaendelea, because one, wale watu wanapika kelele ni wanasiasa, na ni wale watu pia wanajitakia. Now Kalonzo, the group that they say they lead opposition, kama wanaona mambo imekuwa ngumu, kwa nini wajajitokeshea? Nani aliwaambia watu hakuna kwenda maandamano? So how do we remove this government? Watafanya nini? Because who are you waiting to go and remove them? And nikakubaliana na yeye kitu alisema moja, ya kwamba all Kenyans are equal and there is no other side of Kenya wanawachwa nje na kusemekana hawa ndio wanakuwa opposition ama hawa ndio wanatulead. So now because all of us are in this government, even Kalonzo akiongea watu yake wako ndani. Even Wamalwa hata Rikati Gachagua akiongea, it's just Rikati Gachagua. But people are in the government penat. Watu wanapata mambo yao. So what is going on? Either we wait until 2027 because we cannot do anything and wait for them to do what they can do, or we continue with siasa na kulia by next year, and then 2027, now Kenyans. You know, ukienda kuokoa, kama kuna watu wawili walikuwa nataka kupigana, na kwa sababu watapigana washikane nguvu, wapimane wawili, wajue who is very strong, watarudiana kesho wakijua kuna watu watakuja kutusaidia. But ungewacha waumane kabisa mpaka mmoja afike chini, kuna ule angeokopa ngume ingine ni kali kushinda yake, wangeserenda. So sisi Kenya tunakuchanga saa ile ichashika chini, tunaanza and then tunatulia. Pena moshi ya kupulisa na uwati moto iwake, ikitoa tu moshi unawachana naye. Ukirudi hata ile kuni haikushika, unakuja tena unajaribu, unataka kuwakisha. So for me, I've seen this. Hata tumekuwa na mother na tumesunguka, na hata kesho atakuwa na mkutano, na tumejaribu kuuliza swali. Wakenya pia wanauliza hii swali. What is it that wanasiasa wako naye? What is it? Kwa sababu mwananchi wa chini, I'm telling you Penat, kama mambo haitasuluhisha hata 2027, that 2027, people are tired. Now we are talking, atuoni mambo ya IPC, what will happen? Mambo, watu wanapenda mambo inatoka, we talk this today, tomorrow we talk this, tomorrow, the other day. Na kuna vitu nyeti yenye inastahili tuangazie kama Wakenya, but we are not serious of it. We are coming out. So mimi kwangu pena, nafikiria we are not, hatujafika hapo. Hatujafika. Kama tungekuwa kama Sudan vile sasa wanahangaika, maybe Kenya ingekuwa, but for now we are not ready. We are still there. So anyway, mimi yangu nimesema hivyo, but kama wa Kenya, we have no time. Tumepakisha, tuko April. Kwa hivyo mwaka kuisha ni next inafika. Na tumefanya nini? Tuliongea, tukasema mambo ya sijui hatutaki, sijui wametoa nani. Hakuna kitu tumefanya. Hata hiyo chairman ya APC tutakuta tu ameapishwa, ama asubuhi akienda kuapishwa State House tutalalamika. Lakini hata ile mambo tulitaka itendeke kabla ya hiyo watu kuingia ndani. Wakiingia ndani today, wanaenda kufanya kazi na Marchan, whatever the name. And the entire 210 officers, wale wamekalia hizo files yetu tangu tuseme hiyo 2010 constitution. What have we done? We have very important things that we could say. Hizo ya Sudan ni yao. They can deal with their problem because we also have a problem. So tukililia nyumba ya mama ingine na yetu inaisha, wakati yetu kwanza ikiisha hatuna. Sahi tunaambiwa, jana tulikuwa tunasikia East Africa ya kwamba nchi yetu jirani kama Tanzania wako na election. Bernard wameshika leader of opposition yao na amewekwa treason. So tulikuwa tunasikia ya kwamba 3 countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, tumekuwa na dictators and they are working together now. So what are we saying kama wa Kenya? Kama Tanzania hatuwezi ongea, Mali Nyerere tunaimba Tanzania ni mzuri. So what is happening today that huyo mtu ya opposition ya Tanzania ameshikwa na amepatiwa treason. So we are talking nambatu mambo kama sasa tutalekea, we are not even saying anything. We need to be serious, tuangalie mambo. Na I think most of the Kenyans are comfortable. Kama rais akienda Central, unaona vile raia wale wa huko chini, they are comfortable. Na hata juzi tukiwa na mother, watu walikuwa nasema they need really civic education. What we are saying ni iko kwa internet, lakini ukienda kwa Crown, kwa Wanjiko, they don't see a problem. Kama unga iliruti chini, kama pesa hiyo kidogo kidogo anapata, ile kitu nilisikia baba na ndio nilikuwa na ngoja hiyo ndio ungeongea ni mambo ya parliament, kwa sababu nilisikia akiambia Ruto what we do now, pesa iende kwa counties, kwa governor. Na nikasikia Otienda Amolo na baba akamwambia niko na vita na nyinyi members of parliament, mnataka kuchukua pesa ya barabara, mnataka kuchukua CDF sijui nini, alafu MP anakuja anaambia watu mimi ndiye nimetengeneza barabara, mimi ndiye nimefanya hii, mimi nimefanya nini. What will governor say? So I think there are very important things that sisi wa Kenya tunataka kurekebisha hili isi kidogo, and people are not ready by the way. By the way, Penat, I'm telling you, ni kama vile tulikuwa tunafanya campaign the other time. Hatukulala na hatukujua kumbe campaign yetu ilikuwa ni kwa hapa tu, isipokuwa watu wanasikia. Wakati hata nilikuwa na mkutano na mama, I never knew, niliambiwa ulikuwa kwa Mutembei and now you are in Penat ama umeenda kwa Njiru. Nikajua so for real hii nini watu wengi wanasikiza sana, kwa sababu kama wanajua kulikuwa na break ya Mutembei imekuja kwa Penat and then wameanza ya Njiru, a lot of people are following. So yale tunasema ni ukweli ni ya kwamba tujaribu kusaidia, but Kenya ni smali wamefika, they are not ready. Hawajafinywa na hiyo kiatu Penat. Sisi ndiye tunafikiria watu wamefinywa na kiatu, lakini kumbe watu wanaweza vaa socks na watoke na warudi jioni kama hiyo kinonda icha nini. So thank you so much.
So asante mami kwa uchambuzi huo. Mambo ni mengi na mengine yanachanganya, lakini mengine yana uwazi. Ingine iko na inaitwa nini, maana fiche, ingine maana yake ni wazi. Lakini kwangu mimi naona kuna kama ile inaendelea sasa, kuna kucheza siasa na kuna ile kusimamia haki haswa ya Wakenya. Na hilo swala ya CDF gawa pesa imeanzia bungeni, na ni kama nafikiria ilikuwa mojawapo ya strategy ya William Ruto kuhakikisha kwamba wabunge wako sehemu yake. So akiwaongezea pesa ya waongezea ya CDF, tena waongezea ya barabara, hawatakuwa hawezi kumimpeach. So ni kama insurance kinyume na kukuwa impeached in case things get out of hand. But now wakati baba ana insist pesa iende kwa county, development isimamiwe na county, maneno ya Kenha, kura na kera yaishe, barabara zigawe afresh, barabara za county zijulikane hizi za county, na kuna haja ya national government kuja ndani ya county kutengeneza barabara. Kila county isimamie na itekeleze wajibu wake. So I think baba wants the constitution implemented and not adjust the constitution to accommodate dividing of the resources. Ili pesa ikienda kwa county na county inasimamia, then tutakuwa tuna demand accountability from one place. But if we spread the money ati kiasi fulani iko na MP, kiasi ingine iko na MCA, na kiasi ingine iko na governor, it beats the whole purpose and of course makes the resources not to be sufficient, kwa sababu kila mtu ataenda kuanzisha mradi wake, na kila mtu hiyo mradi usipokamilika it will be a stalled project, and so we lose a lot because we want to throw money everywhere and try to, you know, trying to I think pacify unnecessary hearts or minds of people who don't I think who need to know their role and play their role and not begin to mix themselves with the being oversight people as well as implementers of the same. And so I believe what Baba is talking about should be listened to, and we should be able to deduce that. Just let the constitution work, and if we let the constitution work, we will have done this country a great service. But continuing to frustrate the constitution and you know, trying to make things out of a serious document like the constitution, we want to deceive, we want to defeat it cleverly by trying to make allocations using acts of parliament when there are institutions established by the constitutions that should be doing what they should be doing. And so kuna wale ambao wanasema mazungumzo yaliyokuwa kwa hayo matanga yalionyesha, kuna picha hapo inaonyesha kuna picha ya aswa ODM kutokubaliana kwa mambo mengi. Kuna wale ambao wanasema ODM isichanganye na serikali, na kuna wale wanasema ODM ifanye kazi na nini, na serikali. So mzozo huko katikati ya ODM, na kuna wale ambao wanataka kutoroka na chama wamnyang'anye baba. So iko mambo mingi tu hapo, lakini kwangu mimi naomba tuangazie ile swala ambalo ni haswa linalenga mwananchi wa kawaida na linalenga maisha ya kila mwananchi. Mamia amezungumza kuhusu bei ya unga kuteremka, na Ruto naye akazungumza kuhusu bei ya stima, na kile ambacho huwa sipendi ni kwamba Ruto anazungumza kuhusu dola kuanguka kutoka 169 mpaka 129, na atuambii kwamba hiyo dola iliruka kutoka 120 ikafika 169 chini ya uongozi wake, haikukuwa chini ya uongozi ya Uhuru Kenyatta. So akirekebisha kile ambacho aliharibu, astahili kupigwa makofi. And then swala la bei ya unga kushuka, bei ya unga imeanza kupanda sasa. Sijui ni mbolea imepoteza nguvu ama ni nini, kwa sababu ukienda supermarket sahi ile unga ilikuwa 100 ni kama hakuna tena, na kama ziko ni zile za GMO. And that means the purpose, the reason for the fall of the price of ya unga haikukuwa kwamba serikali imeintervene, ilikuwa ni season ya kuvuna. So season ya kuvuna ikiwepo, mahindi inakuwa mingi na bei ya mahindi inaanguka. So kama bei ya mahindi imeanguka, mpaka bei ya unga itaanguka. Lakini saa hii vile sasa mahindi iko scarce, bei ya mahindi imepanda, bei ya unga inapanda. And so kuna vile ambavyo kuna ile hali tu ya kutumia narrative ya kucampaign na kuhadaa watu, huku tunajua ukweli kwamba hii economy ikiimprove kila Mkenya atafeel. Hii economy ikiwa bora, kutakuwa na pesa katika mfuko ya Wakenya. Wakenya wamekaukiwa, Wakenya wamekaukiwa, hela haipatikani, miradi mingi haiendelei, lakini bado tunawaambia kila kitu iko shwari. I think we should be truthful and tell Kenyans the whole truth, nothing but the whole truth. And so if kama kuna kitu ambayo serikali hii inapaswa kupatia Wakenya ni hiyo ukweli. Na Mkenya sio mtu complicated. Mkenya ukimpatia ahadi na hiyo ahadi ionekane kwamba ina dalili mzuri hata kusumbua. Shida ni wewe kumdanganya, wewe kumpatia ahadi za uongo. So hizo ahadi za uongo ndio zinaleta kizaza. Lakini ukitoka huko useme deni letu limefika hapa, maokoto yetu ama makusanyo yetu yamefika hapa, tunaomba tusaidiane, tuhakikishe education inafanya, healthcare inafanya, agriculture inafanya, Wakenya watakuelewa. Lakini masuala ya kutupatia endless promises na unaendelea kutuambia kutakuwa sawa na ilhali hakuna usawa, hapo lazima kutawaka moto. So Kenyans, kama vile mama amesema, inaonekana mko ready. Hata nikiwafuata kwa online, the kind of responses you get, the kind of answers I get, ni kama Wakenya hawako serious na story ya Kazongo must go. They have turned it into comedy. They have turned it into a joke, which in my opinion is uncalled for. And so as a people, tunahitaji sana kuinuka na kusema hapana. Lazima tutekeleze yale ambayo yanapaswa kutekelezwa katika kurekebisha yale ambayo yamekwenda mrama. Tukimalizia hilo suala la kisiasa, naomba nilete hii video tumsikilize Lala and then tuanze kufungasha. Suala la wanasiasa kuteta kwamba kanisa linawazuia kuongea kwa madhabahu. Kuna swali nimeuliza hapa katika mwanzo wa kipindi. Nikauliza hao wanasiasa wanaodai kwamba wakikuja kanisani wapewe microphone wazungumzie na wazungumze kwa congregation kutoka kwa madhabahu. Na kauliza swali, kama mimi mchungaji, ni Tuesday asubuhi, nivae suti yangu vizuri, niingie bunge bila notice, bila nini, nimeingia bunge, nitapewa nafasi ya kuongea? Sitakuwa treated as a stranger? Hata nitabebwa juju? Sasa ninyi nikikuja bunge siruhusiwi kuongea, lakini mkija kanisani mnasema ni lazima muongee.
Kwa sababu hawa watu so wanataka kukuja kanisa mahali wewe umekuwa na watu yako waumini, na kwa sababu wameshindwa kurudi na kutengeneza mkutano sao. So mimi nataka kanisa, kama wewe MP unaenda kuomba, uombe kama mimi na utoke. Kila mtu aingie kanisa, apeane sadaka zake na atoke. Hata hapo nje compound ya kanisa hakuna mtu anaruhusiwa kuleta siasa. Hapo ndio tutakuwa wazuri. Ndio ukienda parliament unasachiwa kutoka, hata uwezi ingia. So wanyimwe kabisa kanisa. Wewe pasta umejitengenezea watu yako. Hawa watu waende huko constituency yao, waweke mkutano, watu ngoje wa Kristo na wananchi tuende mkutano sao.
Sawa, asante mami. Let's get that bite and then thereafter Lala can weigh on the same and more of the stories. Especially I'm interested in that story of Sudan and of course their complaint. But let's hear this.
Politics, a section of politicians have faulted the decision by some churches to deny them an opportunity to address the church congregation.
Speaking after attending a church service in PCA Gadhaidi Church in Githunguri, where they were denied audience, the political leaders led by Kiambu County Woman Representative Anne Wamrada urged religious leaders to rethink the decision.
This even as Stewards Revival Pentecostal Church Bishop Samuel Njuriri called for respective places of worship, saying they should not be used by politicians to advance their agenda.
Here is Timothy Kipnusu with that story.
The decision by a section of religious leaders to deny politicians a chance to address congregants in various parts of the country appears to be receiving a pushback from a section of members of the political class. Kiambu County Woman Representative Anne Wamrada says the decision is ill-informed urging the religious leaders to rethink the move.
Sisi wote ni watu wa kanisa. Na kwa hivyo mchungaji, jambo moja hata sisi tunakubaliana na wewe. Kuna wakati mambo yanaendanga yanakuwa overboard. Inakuwa imezidi zaidi, lakini sasa sisi tumejua ni lazima tuheshimu kanisa.
Jesus has come to our church today. In a rejoinder, Stewards Revival Pentecostal Church Bishop Samuel Njiriri said places of worship need to be respected and not to be used to advance political interests.
Hata kama tunaruhusu politician because wengine ni washirika wetu, ni vizuri wale ambao tunaongoza tunaonyesha mahali patakatifu paheshimiwe. Kuna vita zingine na maneno mengine hayastahili, especially kwa madhabahu.
Tunawapenda, but the atmosphere these days is very bad. Mnaweza mkasema jambo, mkaona watu wanatokea huko tujue waje na hatutaki.
Mimi mwenyewe nimeleta shilingi bilioni 2.
During the church service at PCA Gadaitha, the debate on hefty donations to churches was revisited, with a section of leaders reading from different scripts.
Kenya inatumika kama center ya wizi wa gold ambazo zinauzwa, zinatoa hiyo pesa ambayo ni pesa chafu, inaitwa money laundering.
Najua nimesikia mwingine hapo nje anasema ati sisi ni watu wa money laundering sijui nini. Hiyo ni yake. Ile mtu tunasafu ni Mwenyezi Mungu. Si ni kweli? Ukitoa unatolea nani? Mwenyezi Mungu.
The recent cases of violence witnessed in places of worship, including a bizarre case of a preacher assaulting a member of his church, has also been condemned.
Wanafunzi na ni wanafunzi wa Yesu. Si Yesu aliwakuta wamelala? Mara ngapi? Akikuta wamelala anafanya nini? Anawaamsha pole pole. Anawaambia mfanye nini? Amkeni.
The youth have also been urged to be wary of politicians who want to use them to advance their selfish interests.
Vijana wetu msiruhusu the politician kuwabeba na pewa pesa kidogo ya kwenda pengine kuharibu amani ama kuharibu mikutano ya wengine.
Nasikia uchungu sana kama hawa watoto wakipelekwa kule alafu wanapigwa tear gas. Na kweli kuna kuwa siasa mbaya, mambo mabaya.
Sisi wazazi ndio tunakaa na hawa watoto, tunawachunga. Wakati wengine wanasoma, wale wameumia wanaachwa nyumbani na wanarudishwa nyuma.
Timothy Kipnusu for Sunday Express.
Mambo kama hayo. Reverend Lala, welcome. How are you today?
I'm well, Bernard. How are you? I can see Mama Selina na wenzetu ambao wako huko nyuma. Mjambo.
Tujambo, karibu.
Asante. Wacha nichangie kidogo kuhusu politicians access to churches. I want to just give an example of how we do it over here. I'm a Kenyan. Mimi ni mchungaji hapa Amerikano. Na vile tunafanya ni hivi. In my area, tuna what we call United Pastors in Mission. So United Pastors ni kama wachungaji wote. Tunakutana kila Wednesday. Wednesday and Tuesday, kila Tuesday. And that Tuesday is a time when we receive anyone as pastors. We have received presidents, senators, anyone coming. I've actually invited some of our pastors from Kenya who attended some of our meetings. And this meeting is where we as pastors discuss the agenda that affect all our people. So we welcome politicians, we welcome anyone with a good idea on how they can contribute to the welfare of our community. And here is the place where you can talk to a pastor about your idea, your agenda, then a pastor can invite you into their congregation. And when you go to the congregation, we already know what you are coming to discuss. Okay, maybe an idea, an agenda that you'd want to share with the people, and so many things that politicians can contribute to the development of the church and the community. So in that way, we know what they're coming to do, and we know what we don't want, and they already know. So we invite them that way. On the other hand, also, a church has to be neutral. Okay, here we have Democrat, Republican. You cannot close your pulpit, or you don't, not the pulpit, but the church for Democrat or Republican. In other words, all of them are welcome, but you drive the agenda. If they are campaigning because they have got a good idea that can be able to help the community, then you share that particular agenda, and somebody else with a competing agenda can also be must also be allowed to share the same thing, to their own agenda. That is, in other words, your job is not to support one candidate or the other on the pulpit. In fact, if you do that, you will lose your status as a non-profit organization. In other words, a church is a place where you cannot propagate one particular agenda over the other person. Okay, and for me as a pastor, I'm not even allowed to do that. So there is a thin line there. I know there's some challenges and questions that you guys may have, but it helps people to avoid what we see in Kenya, happening, where the pulpit, everyone want to come in, they want to say something. On the other hand, it's something else. Let me say this: that when these people come to the church, they address the congregation in most cases from where the lay people are, not they're the one who is now the center in the church. They come in as anyone can come to the church, and then at the time of an idea that they have, you invite them to come and share what they have, so they don't take over the church. But in Kenya, what we do is we open up the church so that the more money they give, the more prominence, the more access they're given to the church. And so they come in and buy uniforms, and now the church is now choir singing for them. That is what we are trying to avoid over here. So when pastors are saying no to these politicians, is correct, but they also have to have a mechanism where some idea and agenda they can share with the church, because politicians are also members of the church, and so there need to be a clear guideline. It seems to me what we are doing in Kenya is we are driven by particular interest, because the church has been attacked. Now all of a sudden they are responding, and that's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a clear guideline. This is who we are as a church. When you're a politician, this is what you can do, and this is what you cannot do, and this is what we do as a community. That way, I think we'll address the problem. But right now, we are not, because there are those that are already done a lot for the church because of the access they are given, and now they want their money back. It sounds like it, but many of them are wondering why they are not given access, and they think it's their rivals are the ones that are now allowed to access the church. So let's debate this thing. Let's pastors organize themselves, come up with let me say a group like the national, the evangelicals can have theirs, the Catholics can have theirs, and all they can be one. And that way, we have a clear guideline on how to work with these politicians, because politicians will always, try to override. They always find a way to influence or to come into the church, and we have to have a clear guideline. That way, we'll protect the church from these politicians. That's what I wanted to say on that topic. Thank you, Bernard. Back to you.
Oh, thank you, Lala. We appreciate that. A proper, structured way of engaging the politicians and the church, so that the church remains neutral and a place where anybody can come, and of course, it remains committed to its purpose of existence. That's winning the world to God, and not the money laundry. But the money laundry issue, Big J is talking about it. It is a reality. It's a reality. This country is in a mess economically because of money laundering. Money laundering meaning money coming into the country without proper chain, and money getting into circulation without the central bank. And in the process, we can't stabilize the economy. We have a few people who are flowing into excessive money, and majority are looking for that money. They can't find it. And so this business of 2 million, 20 million, 5 million, and all that is not, it doesn't look genuine. It doesn't look genuine, and doesn't look without attached strings. In the, I don't see we have people who have running businesses that are able to give 20 million every week. I mean, ni biashara gani hiyo ambayo inatengeneza pesa mingi namna hiyo mpaka 20 every week? That's something Kenyans, we need to relook at this keenly, and of course be able to address it. But I agree with Lala and even Mama. Politicians should go and arrange their own meetings, and invite us, will go. But this business ya kudoea washirika kanisani bila nidhamu haikubaliki. Yes, Lala.
I wanted to comment on that money laundry because it's a very serious issue. Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead. And we're beginning to call it a day.
In our little church here in Ohio, we had a young Kenyan who wanted to start a business. And of course, we prayed for him, and he began a business. He moved to the capital, Washington, D.C., and he was doing very, very well. I wouldn't want to go more into detail. And he began a business. He began doing some business in Kenya. So he opened a space to do the business. And he tells me, this is what he was reporting to me. At one time, a group of so-called investors or business people came to his office, and they came with $80 million cash. $80 million cash in Kenya. Okay? And he was shocked. He was terrified. He was scared. So they wanted him to try to buy them coffee. Okay? That they wanted him to package them. These were Russian businessmen, Ukraine, Russian, whatever, those kind of people. And they wanted our friend to get them coffee. And of course, since he was from that background, he understood coffee very well. So he agreed, but he was so scared. So he began to work on it. He asked for the help of one of the Indians in the industrial area. And so they started collecting coffee, buying it from everywhere, and packaging it together so that they can have enough for this guy for a shipment out of the country. And of course, he shared us some terrifying things about their behavior. And finally was able to put, with the help of other people, some coffee together. But he had to actually try to involve even some special protection because he was really scared. And so what we later learned is that these are dirty money, okay? This is money outside here. They want to get into the system. So these are the people that come in with this money and bribe our politicians and get this money into circulation, because when they bought coffee, now they were legitimate businessmen, okay? Because it's no longer dirty money. Now is they own coffee, they are going to sell their coffee, they are now business people. This is how money laundering is done. So a lot of our politicians have been compromised. I even listened to, I think, a chaser talking of how some of our MPs get this money. You see, somebody is very poor, all of a sudden there's this cash that all, you know,
Lala, we have lost you.
Groups around the world that are looking for a place to get this money in. We know that South America is a source of this kind of dirty money, drug money, Southeast Asia and all these places, and they're looking for ways to get money into the economy. And they're using those so-called leaders, and those leaders use that money to buy power, think they're doing in our country. So these are some of the things that are really happening in Kenya. So I just wanted to share that aspect and let you know that a lot of our leaders have been compromised. Thank you.
Thank you, Lala. We appreciate that. Mama, please come in, give your submission and your closing remarks tunapoanza kutamatisha.
Okay, Penat, I think, wow, it's a challenging moment about the church. Reverend amesema kama huku kwa sababu kuna town hall meetings. I've never heard kama kuna kwa watu wanaita town hall meeting, munaenda pale, muna mix all munaingia hiyo mkutano, na si wakati kama ya Sunday ama Saturdays, ni vile amesema Wednesdays, na kuna vile pastors wana arrange. But tunaona Kenya, Sunday ni wakati ya Mungu ama Saturday ni wakati ya Mungu. You are supposed kutoka from your house, unaenda church, unaenda omba Mungu for the rest of the week, and then you go home at peace. But now unakuta makanisa yetu watu wanakuja pigania hapo, wale wako kwa viti, wale wanataka kuwa aspirants, wote wanakuja kanisa, and then the amount wanatoa wanashindania. Na tulikuwa tunaambia Biblia ilikuwa inatufunza ya kwamba chenye mkono ya kulia inatoa na mkono ya left isichue. So I think we are wrong there. Na hapo ndiye mahali mambo iliharibika. Kama kanisa ingekuwa na msimamo, hata politician awangekuwa na kutudanganya. So Elias ilianzia kanisa, kwa sababu unakubali watu wakuja wapigania hapo, mwingine anatoa hii, mwingine anatoa hii. So imagine, that is where we lost direction. Lakini mahali kama hapa na Reverend Lala, unajua hapa Amerikani huwezi support candidate, you support the party. Na ule candidate anaweza patikana amechukua pesa kutoka kwa watu, anakuwa disqualified na kufungwa. Unakumbuka meya wetu wa Baltimore alienda akatumia pesa kununua vitabu, alitolewa. So the difference of US ni ya kwamba hata ukiwa candidate watu wana fund the party, si mtu individual, na yao mchango ni shilingi 5, shilingi 20, they don't. Na kama kuna pesa mingi inatolewa, it goes to the party. Na hawa watu pena, they don't fund primaries. Wanaanza kama umekuwa declared candidate ya party, is when the party will use the money on you. Hata wakati wana run president wakiwa wangapi, wanawachwa. So sisi wa Kenya tumeenda opposite, na tunataka kulaumu one side. Kila kitu ikiharibika tunalaumu wanasiasa. How about us, wale tunachangia mambo iharibike? Watu wa Mungu, watu makosa ilikuwa ikifanyika, watu wakipigana, tulikuwa tunakimbilia church na walikuwa naamua. but ayo yote because you are reverend and you are reverend, I have 2 reverends here. Ilienda wapi hiyo? Hata wakati samani inchi ikienda kuanguka, watu ya Mungu walikuwa naita rais, wanakalisha chini, na watu walikuwa na heshima. Lakini kwa sababu watu wamependa pesa na hii laundering money mnasema, hata makanisa wamefanya hiyo. So I think it is difficult time for us na tuombe tu Mungu, maybe this generation ikitoka, maybe now tukirudi for the young people, na wasikuje na pesa kama vile wanasema wakiwa na their candidates, they don't need money, watawapigia kura. I think that could be better penalty, but otherwise all of us we are sin. Tumeingia kwa meli sisi wote, imepaki tu kumeswa na maji. We are nobody is only now. Hata kanisa wesi kimbilia kotini. You cannot go to the government, you cannot go to politicians. So mwananchi ula ako chini ang'ang'ane tu kwa famu yake, ause chakula yake, akule, siku iendelee, because end of the day pena tukiwa rais, si ati wa Kenya wanakula na wewe, even your family. Ukiwa member of parliament, it is you and your family and your concubines and wherever you are doing. The rest of the people wanaendelea kukula yale walikuwa nakula. So I think Kenyans, ile kitu inafanya, itapiti tumewachana na hii watu wanasiasa, turudi kwa mashamba yetu, tufanye mambo yetu. Kama uko na biashara, chunga kasi yako. Hiyo tu ndiye naweza sema tena penalty. Kutoka nje kufanya maandamano tunawasaidia. So wacha waleto, kama ni maandamano, watoto yao wakuje wapigane. Sisi wengine tutulie. Asante. Hayo ndio my last remarks.
Okay, asante mami, tunashukuru na tunaamini kwamba katika kuongea tutapata afueni kama wa Kenya na tukue na msimamo ambao unaeleweka. Tunashukuru pia na ripoti yako na Martha Karua. Tunakutuma uliza yeye maswali, atueleze hii mambo iko wapi. Yao walidai kwamba ndio leader wa opposition. What are they opposing? And what are the plans that are underway in terms of helping this country? Dile tunasikia tu Gen Z, this what is their relationship with Gen Z? Where are these Gen Zs they are banking on? And hii uhasama ambao inaendelezwa kwamba wale wote ambao wanakubaliana na Kasongo ni adui wa Wakenya na hiyo mambo mengine. Tutakuwa na siasa ambayo mtatuambia huyu ni bora kwa sababu ana hii na hii na hii, badala ya kutuambia huyu ni mbaya, huyu hafai, huyu anini. Tuambie na wewe ni kipi ambacho unakisimamia ambacho ni kizuri, kitakachofurahisha Wakenya na Wakenya waone kwamba watakuwa salama mikononi mwako. Mbona kila mtu anageuza, anataka kufanya ile siasa ya kulaumu ile mwingine, kumchapa ile mwingine, kumkosoa ile mwingine? Na wewe situambie wewe ni mrefu, wewe ni tall, wewe ni handsome, wewe ni God fearing, wewe ni humble, wewe ni tuone hiyo tabia yako na itufurahishe na sisi tukupigie kura. Lakini wewe kuja kutuambia huyo hafai, huyo ni mjinga, huyo ni mwizi, huyo nini, tutapataje kupona kama kila mtu atakuwa sasa ni kushambuliana badala ya kupatia Wakenya nafasi ya kuchagua kati ya hawa watu wawili, watatu, wanne, nani anafaa kushikilia Kenya, nani atafaa kusaidia Kenya. So ningependa hiyo maswali mnitafutie majibu. Mimi natafuta ile siasa ile tulikuwa nayo ya kitambo, ile ilikuwa watu wanaaminiwa kwa kuwa aminifu, lakini siasa ya ukora, ya kuibiana, kununuliana, kukatana miguu is strange, na ndio hiyo inasaidia kuharibu nchi. Sawa. So, and then, of course, before you even respond to that, Lala is here. There is this reported mysterious sickness in Kakamega. Ningependa tumalizie kwa hilo.
Elsewhere, one person has been reported dead while 11 others have been hospitalized following an outbreak of a mysterious illness in Baka village, Ikholomani constituency, Kakamega County. The family of the deceased, a 26-year-old Faith Landam, who died after falling ill, said that their kin complained of body pains, headache and diarrhea 2 days before her death.
Diarrhea, chest pains and extreme fatigue.
Hata huyu mtoto nimeshindwa kwa maana niliamka asubuhi alilala tu vizuri kwa hii nyumba. Hata hakuwa anafanyako bila anafanyanga hapana. Hakuonyeshako dalili yeye ni mgonjwa mwenye anaweza kufa.
Official visited the village to ascertain the situation.
Kwa sasa hatujajua kiini cha magonjwa haya, lakini madaktari wangu wanafanya kazi kuchunguza ili waweze kujua kama kuna outbreak yoyote ya magonjwa katika eneo hili ama ni magonjwa tu ya kawaida ambayo ililemea watu wetu.
The health officials collected samples which have been taken for further analysis, even as residents have been urged to seek immediate medical attention should they fall sick.
Hatutakuwa na mengi ya kusema kwa wakati huu, ili tutasubiri matokeo kutoka maabara yetu ya hospitali kwa wale wauguzi wetu, madaktari ambao wanashughulikia hili jambo. Wakisha tupatia hali kamili, wakishajua kiini cha magonjwa haya, ndiposa sasa tutakuja na tuelezee wananchi wa Kakamega haswa kabisa ni nini kilisababisha hao wenzetu kuwa wagonjwa.
The residents are however expressing frustration for the time as challenges in accessing medical care under the Social Health Authority platform.
Hata mimi wiki jana nilikuwa na watoto wachukuu wangu watatu, wote walikuwa wagonjwa sana. Hawakuwa wakisimama, hawakuwa wanakula, walikuwa wanatapika. Nikienda kwa usiku ananiambia lazima niende nitafute hiyo kitu yao sha, na mimi sina pesa.
Ndio umeona imefika hii kiwango ambao tunaomba serikali iweke mataa kwa hospitali. At least mgonjwa akienda hapo, hata kama hana sha, wamuelekeze anaweza kujiandikisha namna gani.
Joseph Ohungu for Lunchtime News.
Okay, thank you. Lala, your minute starts now.
Give me a minute.
That minute will find us gone. I had a very long day today, so I need to rest this head. Mama, hii maneno ya SHA, wewe unaenda hospitali, wewe ni mgonjwa, unaambiwa kama una SHA hauwezi kuona daktari. Ni kipi kiko ndani ya SHA hii? Ndio nini?
Kama una SHA na uwezi enda hospitali, na wanaendanga na wanafika wanaambiwa SHA ifanye. Nilitaka kujibu swali moja umeuliza kati ya Martha Karua. Chama yetu vile imebadilishwa ikiwa PPL, batu wanasimama yeye batu, chama yetu haiwezi kuwa na corruption. Ile kitu wanasema wanajaribu kuangalia kama party ni mambo ya youth, kwa sababu wameomba wale vijana wanasimama viti, wanataka kujua chama itawasaidia namna gani. But Martha Karua ile msimama alikuwa naye 2002 92 up to date, ile ya kina Raila, ile ya opposition ya kufanya campaign bila pesa. Niliona campaign yake hapa US bila anasema ile kitu itasaidia wa Kenya this time round. Wacha all candidates watoke, but tukitaka kusave our country lazima dakika ya mwisho tuweke one candidate kama ile ya 202, na kama haitafanyika hivyo kila mtu atachipenda, then watakuwa wamepatia Kasongo the chance. So nafikiri ni hayo tu Penat, ya kwamba Yeye hata yeye si ile anataka kusaidia chama yake, anataka kuvolunteer na kusaidia Wakenya, na anataka Wakenya wale wako na msimamo. She's not rushing for these politicians wanataka kuongwa. So I think our party is like the same na Kenya the way it was, genuine party with genuine leadership. So tumeover Kenyans ya kwamba kama wako ready kukuwa na kiongozi bora mwenye atasikia mambo yao na mwenye atasimamia katiba is other than Wangare Martha Karua. Thank you.
Okay, asante sana mami kwa hilo jibu, na tutaendelea kuangazia kwa sababu ni muhimu kila Mkenya awe na maswali yake na hayo maswali yapate jibu. Lala, you are saying something?
Oh, yes, Bernard. Let me changie hiyo lilo jambo kuhusu SHA. Number one, I think is that's a scam. SHA is a scam. Why do I say that? You see, we had NIHF, what do you call it, HSF, whatever you call it, the one which was there before. It had its strength, but it also had its weakness. When you come up with something new, it has to be based on the study of that one that you think need to be replaced. In other words, this was the same government. They should have studied the failures of the first one, and actually they may give it a new name, but it is the one that was there improved. But what did they do to us? The move was more political than a clear, understood, well implemented system that people understood. So clearly, SHA and NHF had no correlation at all. In other words, what was there, they never studied it, they didn't understand what was happening. These were political maneuvers for political purposes, and Kenyans have been scammed. That's what I think. Because the issue that I'm hearing is shocking and shameful. If the idea was to replace the old one with something new, something better, and then what we are having now is worse. So it's a scam. Thank you, Bernard.
Okay, so Lala, tunashukuru, and may God deliver us from every scam and the scam of SHA as well. It's I don't understand how politicians think that this country needs help badly, and I don't want to start a new debate. Like I said, I had a busy day today. We was concluding our youth week, and so I had to speak in the rally in the afternoon. So the sound was not very good. My voice has cracked, and I need to rest it. I can't stretch it further than that. And then, of course, I want to thank everyone that has contributed towards the success of the program. Even when we close, let the conversation continue. Piga kura yako, like video, saidia mtu subscribe, saidia mtu afuate kipindi, na bado tunapokea mchango wa msaada wako wa kuchangia kusupport channel na kusupport kijana yetu Frank ili aendelee na masomo na aendelee na maisha, kujiandaa kwa sababu sasa hivi tunamlipia bills, lakini in the next 3-4 months he should be able to do that by himself. And so for that to happen, we should be able to shield him and propel him to get to that place of self-reliance. So kama hujatuma mchango wako, fanya hivyo, na tunashukuru kwa wote ambao mmefanya hivyo na kusupport kwa njia moja au nyingine. Studio, hizi lights na hii maswala yangine is a bill that we, in fact we have controlled the number of lights we are using just to be able to minimize on the consumption. At times it's very high, and it places us in trouble if we don't work hard. The other day you start the show and then you hear pig pig, and then your kengele ya token is kiangi maombi. Ina disturb continuously, so it must be fed. Iko kama ile paka anataka analilia maziwa, hawezi kunyamaza mpaka apewe. Lakini tunashukuru wote ambao mmekuwa na kusimama na sisi kutusupport. Tunaomba tu tuendelee kuombeana na kusapotiana, but let's believe in Kenya. Let's fight for a better Kenya. Let's support the best move to help this country. Tuachane na siasa ya kuzozana, kukatiana, kukata miguu na kuchukiana. Tuachane na hiyo. We are mature, we are able. Let's go ahead and reach out one to another, enlighten one another, help one another. Hii story ya kufight melele, it doesn't help. Let's find out what we do to make right what has gone wrong with our country. And a lot of things have gone wrong. Let's seek out the solution. The church, the political parties, the NGOs, and other human rights activists. Let's come up. And I said we need to have, I think, a national dialogue program. We have avoided it, but it's becoming inevitable. Tusipopata hii national dialogue, tuende kwa elections bila hiyo, naona hakutakuwa vizuri. So wazee wale wanajiita elders, wazee wa Kalenjin, wazee wa Luo, wazee wa Kikuyu, wazee wa Mijikenda, wakati wenu ni huu. Shinikizeni muitishe national dialogue. Chenzi waongee, wamama waongee, wazee waongee, vijana waongee, makanisa yaongee, misikiti iongee, Wakenya wasikilizane. Lakini tukienda kwa elections in the kind of setting we have, I don't think anybody is going to believe another. So this is my appeal. Now, anybody who has whatever the interests of this country at heart, we should push this agenda. We need a national dialogue. Hatuwezi kuendelea hivi. The kind of debate that's going on, the kind of narrative that is being pushed, the manipulation by the media, the twisting of the truths and the giving of half truths, half lies and all that. This need to come to an end. Na ni wazee ambao wanapaswa kusimama waseme hapana, hii sio tabia yetu, hii sio mtindo wetu, na nchi yetu haiwezi kuendelea hivi. So hii masuala ya kusema Ruto ako kwa ofisi aachwe tu, hapana. Kama anakosea ambiwe. Ndio sababu ya kuwa mzee. Na ukiwa mzee hauwezi au behave kama mtoto. So wazee wetu, wazee wa kaya, wazee sijui wanaitwa nini, kuna wengi tu. Wakati wenu ni huu.
Wakati baba alisema tukue na dialogue, tulimwambia we don't need dialogue. So now why dialogue now? Kwa sababu ya alisema tuketi chini tuelewane, CNC, watu yote, makanisa, everybody. But they brush him off. So who will start that?
Ndio nakwambia hiyo hekima ya baba ndio inaweza kufanya kazi hapa. Wewe mama unakumbuka IPPG? No reforms, no elections. 97. Tuko hapo. Na bila hiyo IPPG, hiyo elections ya 1997 ilikuwa make or break. So hapo ndio inaitwa nini, electoral commission iliokolewa, kwa sababu kwa na mtu na imani nayo kabisa. Ilikuwa imeisha kabisa, ilikuwa imeisha, iko kama vile hii iko. Sasa hii tulifukuza watu, tunarudisha wengine. Wale tunarudisha tuko na question mark. Saa hii ndio tunahitaji hiyo national dialogue, na hii national dialogue isikue political, ikue all compassing, watu wa dini, watu wa masomo, watu wa biashara, watu wote tukutane, kama ni Bomas tukohoe, alafu ya masuala yafanye nini, yashughulikiwe, haswa touching on the elections, touching on political responsibility, and touching on the future of the country. Is my suggestion, and the best people to lead that is the elders. Na kuwe na wale elders ambao si watumbo, elders wale wanapenda inji na wanataka haki katika inji. Si wale elders wakipewa hivi, if they are slapped with 20 million, wananyamaza. They are slapped on this other side with another 50 million, they keep quiet. We don't want those elders. Wazee ambao wanapenda inji na wanataka kuelekeza inji, tuachana kina Atuoli na wengine. Tunataka wale ambao hata waegemei any side of politics, they want to salvage the country. I would want that to take place if we are going to have a free, fair, credible, and verifiable elections that Kenyans can believe in, not with this kind of arrangement. Lazima tuongee. Na wale wanasema wataki kuongea wamekuwa hapa. Mimi Gaito alitangaza hapa holiday. Mimi nilingoja holiday sikuiona. So watu watulie. Kupiga kelele hapa kwa TikTok na kupiga kelele hapa online ni tofauti kwa ground. Uliza Salasia. Salasia alienda Kakamega. Kakamega wapi? Mumias kusema ODM imekufa. Akatembea na gari, akabeba mkono, Waluya hawakutoka. Akaenda kwa bodaboda, kwa stage ya bodaboda, akasalimia watu wa bodaboda. Usishindane na ndovu. Kwa size yako kwanza. So what I'm simply saying, I'm just throwing out this as a suggestion. I think it is a time we begin to talk, and I think the environment is conducive now for talks. If we don't talk, like now this 2025 finance bill, wembe utakuwa ule ule. So and then of course hii maneno ya kulaumiana sijui nani ana sponsor nini na nini, hatuwezi kuendelea hivi. Watu wazima huwa wanafika mahali wanasema hapana, hii vita imeendelea sana, tukae chini tutatue. Lakini tukiendelea hivi, like hiyo story ya Butere Girls na hii story ya nini nyingine, hii story sasa ya finance bill. Unaona finance bill imeingizwa propaganda mingi. Sema sijui wabunge wanadai nini, sijui nini wanadai nini, na hiyo masuala yote. So ikiachwa hivyo alafu isukumwe vile inasukumwanga kwa lazima, itakuwa na repercussions kama hiyo. Na saa hii tukiwa na repercussions kama hiyo, unajua ile break ya baba sioni kama ikishika, kwa sababu kuna wale ambao wako tayari wanangojea tu watoroke na waende kutekeleza yale ambao walitaka kutekeleza. So Lala mama, ninyi mko na connections na wazee wa kaya na wazee wa maana wanaitwangaje, kiama na Kikuyu elders, Kalenjin elders and Luo elders. Wakati wenu kusimama kama wazee kuokoa nchi ni saa hii. Msingoje jenzi wako kwa street, wamama wako kwa street ndio mnaanza kusema oh let us talk. Saa hii ndio time ya kucall talks. Don't wait when everybody's up in arms, amechukua mkuki yake na mshale ndio mnamwambia tuongee. Ikishafika hapo it is too late. So tuanze mapema. Asante. Lakini so unless kuna la ziada, mimi nafungasha. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet again in the next show. God bless you. Keep it a sound, candid talk. We salute and appreciate each one of you. Thank you so much.
Are you looking for video live streaming services? You want your church services to be on air? You do not know where to market your goods and services? At Sound Candid Talk, we deliver the best live stream services for your events, product and service launches, conferences, weddings, and marriages. Reach on us today.
But the unthinkable happened. Police opened fire on unarmed demonstrators, killing over 20, injuring many, and leaving others unaccounted for. Frank was among the victims, hit by 6 bullets, yet by God's grace, he survived. After a series of life-saving surgeries, Frank can now walk again. But the bullets left a lasting impact. He can no longer perform heavy-duty jobs to support his grandmother. And their iron sheet home, deep in the slum, is inaccessible by vehicles. In case of a medical emergency, help is far out of reach. To make matters worse, the slum is plagued by insecurity, with daily cases of muggings and robberies. Despite all these challenges, Frank dreams of finishing his education, learning a trade, and building a better life for his grandmother, the woman who has stood by him through every storm. This is where we need your help. In the short term, we aim to move Frank and his grandmother to a safer home where they can access medical care and live without constant fear. Long term, we want to support Frank in completing his education, learning a profitable skill, and starting a small business. I've faced so much, but I'm still standing. I want to work hard, take care of my grandmother, and make her proud. I just need a chance. You can be the change in Frank's life. Every contribution, big or small, will go a long way in helping this brave young man and his grandmother rebuild their lives. Let's come together and help Frank fulfill his God-given destiny. God bless you. Send your donations to Sound Candid Talk, support Frank Okoth account. The link is in the description below. Together, we can make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video widely, and stay tuned for more inspiring stories on Sound Candid Talk.